Have you ever wondered why so many young men today seem to be struggling in the dating world? It's not just a feeling. It's a statistically verifiable crisis. A recent Pew Research Center study revealed a startling fact. Nearly 2/3 of men under 30 are single. This isn't a small-scale trend. It's a societal epidemic of male loneliness, and we need to understand the forces driving it. This isn't about blaming anyone. It's about looking at the data, understanding the complex dynamics at play, and starting a real conversation. The future of relationships, family, and society itself depends on it. So, let's unpack the numbers. We are seeing a significant portion of an entire generation of men being left out of the dating market. Why? The reasons are multifaceted, weaving together economics, technology, and profound cultural shifts. One of the biggest hurdles is economic. The cost of living has skyrocketed, while wages have stagnated. Many young men feel they can't afford the traditional markers of stability that were once expected, like home ownership, or even just taking someone out for a nice dinner without financial anxiety. This creates a deep-seated fear of inadequacy, a feeling that they can't provide or measure up. When a man feels he's not financially ready, he is far less likely to even enter the dating arena. It's not about being unwilling. It's about feeling unprepared for the perceived financial responsibilities of a relationship. Then we have the digital revolution. Dating apps and social media have completely rewired how we connect. On one hand, they offer endless choice. On the other, this creates what psychologists call the paradox of choice. With so many options, commitment becomes devalued. People are always looking for the next best thing, leading to a culture of disposable connections. For men, this digital landscape often feels like an intense, hyper-competitive marketplace. Studies on dating apps consistently show that a small percentage of men receive the vast majority of attention, leaving a large number feeling invisible and rejected. This isn't just a blow to the ego. It is a constant stream of negative feedback that can erode self-worth and make men question their value entirely. Beyond the apps, social media creates a world of curated perfection. Young men are bombarded with images of success, wealth, and idealized relationships that are often completely unrealistic. This constant comparison fuels anxiety and a sense of not being enough. The pressure to have a certain lifestyle, a certain physique, or a certain level of success is immense. When reality doesn't match the digital fantasy, it leads to disillusionment. It's a setup for failure, where real-world interactions can't possibly live up to the digitally constructed expectations. This environment makes it incredibly difficult to form genuine, authentic connections based on who you are, rather than what you project online. Now, let's talk about the cultural shifts, which are perhaps the most complex part of this equation. Gender roles and expectations have been in a state of flux for decades, and while many of these changes are positive and necessary, they've also created a landscape of confusion for young men. The traditional scripts for dating, how to ask someone out, who pays, what it means to be a man in a relationship, are no longer clear. Men are often caught in a double bind. They're told to be more emotionally expressive and vulnerable, but when they are, they risk being seen as weak or less attractive. Society tells them to shed traditional masculinity, but many of the traits associated with it, like being a provider and protector, are still implicitly desired by many. This confusion is compounded by certain polarizing ideologies. Some narratives within modern discourse paint masculinity itself as inherently problematic. When men are constantly bombarded with messages that suggest their natural instincts and desires are wrong or toxic, it creates a sense of alienation and resentment. They feel attacked for simply being men. This doesn't foster healthy interaction. It builds walls. Men become hesitant to engage, fearing they'll say or do the wrong thing and be harshly judged. This defensiveness and withdrawal only deepen the chasm between the sexes, making genuine connection even more difficult and contributing directly to the loneliness epidemic we're witnessing. Another critical piece of this puzzle is the state of male mental health. For generations, men have been socialized to suppress their emotions. Man up, don't cry, be strong. These phrases have created a culture where male vulnerability is stigmatized. This emotional suppression is a silent killer. When men face constant rejection on dating apps, economic stress, and cultural confusion, they often have no healthy outlet for their frustration, sadness, or anxiety. They are far less likely than women to have strong emotional support networks or to seek professional help. This isolation is a breeding ground for depression and other mental health issues, which in turn cripples their confidence and ability to form relationships. It's a vicious cycle. Loneliness worsens mental health, and poor mental health makes it harder to escape loneliness. Let's synthesize these points. We have young men facing unprecedented economic pressure, making them feel inadequate before they even start. We have a digital dating world that operates like a brutal competition, leaving many feeling invisible and worthless. We have social media creating unrealistic standards that fuel anxiety and comparison. We have a confusing cultural landscape that sends mixed messages about what it means to be a man, often leading to alienation and withdrawal. And finally, we have a deep-rooted stigma against male emotional expression that leaves men isolated with their struggles. When you combine all these factors, is it any wonder that nearly 2/3 of young men are single? It's the logical outcome of a system that is, in many ways, set up against them. So, what is the path forward? This isn't about turning back the clock or blaming any single group. It's about recognizing the reality of the situation and fostering a more compassionate and understanding environment. For society, it means we need to stop stigmatizing male vulnerability and create spaces where men can be open about their struggles without fear of judgment. We need to promote healthier narratives around masculinity, ones that value strength alongside emotional intelligence and vulnerability. We need to have honest conversations about the real-world effects of the digital dating market and the economic pressures young people face. For men themselves, the path involves building self-worth that isn't dependent on external validation from dating apps or social media. It means focusing on purpose, building skills, and cultivating strong friendships with other men who can provide support. It means learning to navigate this new landscape with awareness and resilience. It's about developing a strong sense of self, independent of relationship status. This isn't about giving up on relationships, but about building a foundation so strong that a relationship becomes an addition to a fulfilling life, not the sole source of it. This crisis of male loneliness is a warning sign for all of us. Healthy societies are built on healthy relationships between men and women. When a significant portion of young men are left behind, it creates instability, resentment, and despair that affects everyone. It's time to stop ignoring the statistics. Start listening to the experiences of young men, and work together to build a future where both men and women can find connection, purpose, and happiness. Thank you for watching. If this conversation resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the issues that matter today.